Hello everybody and welcome back to the Sammy Snake Racing YouTube channel. My name's Sam, aka Sammy Snake, aka the fastest snake in the world. Now everybody says using manual gears is faster than automatic, but is that true? Well, in today's video, that's exactly what we're going to be testing. We're going to be testing lap times, fuel saving, and how optimizing gear changes can affect how fast you go around a racetrack. Let's jump in. Okay, so for lap time comparison, I did a pretty simple test. I set up a lobby, I set it to GR3 cars, I put BOP on, I hopped in a BMW M3, and I went around Suzuka and I did 3 laps with manual transmission and 3 laps with automatic. The left screen is with automatic gears and the right screen is with manual gears. We will be looking at the delta information once this lap is complete, but I wanted to give you a talk through of what I feel the advantages are when using manual gears come into play. So they're little subtle differences, but they do make quite a significant difference around quite a complex circuit like Suzuka. So being able to change down gears earlier and use lower gears at your choosing to help rotation is a critical thing in order to get the most lap time out of your racing or your qualifying. And the second thing that I'm trying to do is use gears where I feel most in control. Sometimes with automatic transmission it will change down into a gear that you don't want it to because wheel spin is too sensitive, or on other occasions it will stay in a higher gear when really you want it to change down to get better acceleration. So I just want to show you this was a fair test. I did 3 laps in each cars and this was the time difference before we jump into the delta. What you'll see when we do jump into Coach Dave is quite insightful, and this will help you to learn why you should perhaps consider using manual transmission and where the time gains are. And as we cross the line, we'll see that we did a 2:09 with automatic gears and a 2-minute flat with manual. Okay, so here we are in Coach Dave. We've got both of the laps loaded in. We've got the 2:09 and the 2-minute flat. This was the automatic lap, this was the manual. So you'll see over the course of a full lap there's 9/10 difference, and I'm just going to briefly explain how this translates into time. So the first place I want to go over is into turn 1. You'll see we gain time, we gain about 2.5 into that first sector. And there are only subtle differences. The braking points and the acceleration points are very similar, but you'll see this yellow line here. This is where we're changing gear. We don't go to 6th gear. We rev it out, so we gain a little bit of time there coming into the corner. It's actually faster to do that. And then we change down more quickly to help with the rotation into that first corner. And by using these gears, it helps us to rotate the car, get more entry speed and gain more time. You can see we're using the gears more actively, changing down earlier, helping with rotation, and this all just helps to gain time throughout this first sector, and we're already 4.5 tenths up. One of the main differences I want to point out when I was talking about how changing up into a gear can be faster earlier is this second right-hander here. So using automatic, it would stay in 2nd gear, and you had to be careful with the throttle in 2nd gear so the back tyres didn't light up. You couldn't be aggressive, and also because you have to change from 2nd to 3rd, it stops the momentum. And if I zoom into this section just there, you'll probably see how much more we can be aggressive with the throttle. You can see I'm much earlier on the throttle, I'm up to 100% earlier rather than being smoother. And those subtle differences really do make a difference, and you'll see that from the time as we enter into that corner with 420 thousandths in front, but by the time we're coming out of the corner, we've probably gained another 1/10.5. In fact, we have. Then coming into this hairpin, just being more aggressive with the downshifts allows you to slow the car down a little bit faster, get it rotated in better, so therefore you can be on the accelerator earlier, and again there's time found there. One unique part where it really does help find time is around spoon corner, the second apex. You can see I actually missed the apex here. I went wide on the manual lap. That is not the optimal line, but what I was able to do, instead of using second gear, which automatic wanted to put me in, I could use third gear and again be more aggressive with the throttle coming through that corner. So even though I messed the line up, and I do lose a little bit of time, you can see the time goes down to 7/10, but because I'm using a higher gear on the way out, we gain so much time all the way down this home straight. You can see we've gained 2/10 roughly, 2/10 coming into the final braking zone. And the last thing I'd point out is coming in through the final chicane, it would keep you in second gear all the way through there. And I wanted to use first for this short part just to accelerate a little bit more quickly should I say. And you can see we're 9/10 there, and we gain about 1/10 just through that short section. I didn't exit the corner as well, that was human error, but you can still see how using different gears than what automatic recommends all combines together to gain a lot of time over the course of a lap. Okay, that's right, fuel consumption, fuel saving. How can manual gears help with fuel saving? So you can see I've set this lobby to 45 times fuel consumption, and what I've done, I did a test, and basically I tested using fuel map 3 with automatic gears. I could do just over 1 lap in this Volkswagen Beetle. This is a Group 3 car again, and then what I did after that, I noted how long it took me to do my out lap, where I finished, where I ran out of fuel, and then I tried short shifting at 50% RPM. Now this test is purely to show you how much faster you can be just by short shifting over using fuel maps. If you are using automatic gears, the only way you can really save fuel is by changing your fuel maps. You have the options 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and the higher you have that, the leaner the mix of fuel, the less fuel it uses, but the slower you will go. Now the alternative to using fuel maps is purely short shifting. Gran Turismo 7, a lot of how it works out the fuel consumption, it is the RPM. So if you are not revving the car as high, you will use less fuel. So let's see how much of a difference there is with automatic using fuel map 3 compared to fuel map 1 with short shifting. So as we cross the line with manual short shifting, we're 1.8 seconds faster than automatic with fuel map 3. What about how much fuel we actually save? Do we use more or less from short shifting even though we're faster? Well, you'll see on the left, we've just run out of fuel with fuel map 3. So not only are we faster, we are saving more fuel. So if you want to optimize your fuel saving, you need to be using manual gears. Okay, for this next test, we're at Spa, we're in the Supra Group 3 car, and we're going to show you how optimizing your gear changes can make you faster. So we're going to do a side-by-side comparison again and talk about the delta afterwards. So there are certain cars in the game, like this Supra, where it is faster to not change gear at the normal amount. As we're negotiating turn 1, I just want to point out I outbroke myself on the manual lap, and we'll see that in the delta. I didn't get the entry or the exit very good there, but what you'll notice where I'm changing gear, if you look on the right hand side, 3/4 of the bar is where I'm changing gear, and that's because in this Supra, because of the power band, it is faster to short shift it. The other benefit you get from using a higher gear and having more power in that power band is through tricky sections. Through this here, you can see the automatic lap, I almost lose the back end here in second gear. I have to gather it up, but because I can use a higher gear, which is going to be faster on the way out anyway, there's less chance of getting wheel spin. So from short shifting, not only am I getting the benefit of the car being more controlled and easier to drive, I'm also gaining time down the straights. Every single time I'm going down the straight, I'm gaining time. There's going to be two areas where I'm going to gain a lot of time through this, and it's not really through the midsection. It is down the long straights, and then it's, I would say, the penultimate corner really, as we're coming up to this final sector. It's the fast sweeping right-hander before the home straight. You'll notice on the left-hand side it keeps it in third gear, which is very tricky to not lose the back end. But obviously in manual we don't have that issue, so I can choose the gear I want to be in. I use fourth gear, I get on the power much earlier, and not only am I gaining time from changing gear earlier because that's what the car likes, but I can carry more speed and more momentum through the corner. And when we finish this lap, you're going to see quite a stark time difference, with the automatic lap doing a 2 minute and 21, but the manual lap doing a 2:19.7. So let's jump into Coach Dave and see what the telemetry tells us. Okay, so here we are back in Coach Dave. Let's see what we can learn and how much of a gain we're making looking at the data. So to be honest, I've already had a little look, bit of transparency there, but it's been confirmed looking at this. I was right about turn one. I broke myself slightly. I did gain some time, but I compromised my exit. You can see the time goes up to 180 thousandths, but then on the way out it shoots down by a full tenth, which shows that we got a poor exit. So coming down the straight, if we were matched for straight line speed, that should have continued to decrease all the way down. But what's interesting is we negate that poor exit by short shifting, by optimizing the gear changes, and we actually start to gain time back coming down the straight. So I think if we would have matched the exit, we would have probably been 2 to 3 tenths up. The next big time gain was coming through these first S's, where we almost lost the back end because we were in second gear, and it's easy to lose the back end in the Supra using those lower gears, so we gain a lot of time through there. The next big time gain, which I didn't realize how much of a difference this made until I looked at the delta, was this double left-hander, this fast sweeping left-hander. Using automatic, it would want you to be in third gear, but I liked using fourth gear so I could be more aggressive with the throttle, save on a gear change on the way out, and reduce the amount of understeer. So you can see we go from just over 5 tenths in front, but coming out of that corner we're 8 tenths coming into the next braking zone. That's quite a big difference in time. There's not that much difference. There's not a big discrepancy between automatic and manual through these corners. We do gain a little bit of time. I used third instead of second there. We do gain time there, but the big time difference is what I talked about with this penultimate fast sweeping right-hander, where we were forced to use third in automatic, so we had to manage the throttle, but using manual we could slam it into fourth, be aggressive with the throttle, and you can see we go from 9 tenths all the way down, carrying the speed and the extra momentum down the straight, to 1.3. So there's 4 tenths to be gained there just by using manual gears. So those were the main things that we learned, and that is how it looks when we look at pure data and how much time gain there is when we're dealing with a car that you have to think about optimizing the gear changes. So I think we've answered pretty conclusively whether automatic is slower compared to manual. Yes, not only in just lap times, but fuel saving, strategy, car control, You name it, manual is superior. Automatic is fine for beginners, but if you want to be really competitive, you need to make the switch to automatic. I hope you found this video helpful, informative, or entertaining. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers and we want to achieve that goal before the end of the year. So just click that button before you leave, will you? But from the Racing Snake, it's over and out. Take care and thanks for watching.